Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video here on the Ripple. I'm quickly looking up some stuff, but welcome to this new video. We're going to do a full update here on Ripple, XRP, technically, fundamentally, whatever you need to know. The main thing I wanted to look up real quick is whether I missed some news, but it doesn't really look like it. And that's also, I mean, in general, and that's a general tip for crypto. If there's major news for a crypto that the price actually reacts to, more often than not, you can already see it in the price. And if we take a look at the price of XRP right now, I mean, volume is already decreasing a bit after the market opening yesterday, which is pretty normal nowadays. Usually, or at least if you go back to the last couple of weeks, Mondays were very, very volatile and very active, and then Tuesday went down a bit. And then Wednesday was very active again into the end of the week. But so we'll see if that happens this week as well. But there's no real power in XRP right now. And as you can see, or at least some of you who might watch these daily analysis, I have changed my analysis slightly to make it a little bit more clear and to get a little bit more confirmation from the technical. So we'll talk about that, and I'll just in general give you my full rundown of the two different scenarios, in my opinion, because there are two, and then which one I think is most likely. But in the end, you should be prepared for both, all right? Crypto is a very, very unpredictable and very unstable environment, and things can change in a blink of a second, right? So you have to be able to switch bias very, very, very quickly. And the more early you switch bias when most people have not, and you get the information that it is worth it to switch bias, the more profitable you will be, all right? Because your edge will absolutely be better. But to talk about XRP right now, like I said, volume right now is down to $2.9 billion. That's still at around the same levels as yesterday, but yesterday the volume got up to $3.3 billion, so we're down. This volume is relatively low, all right? If you compare this volume to the volume last week we peaked out around $10.5 billion. Now, obviously, last week was also when we had that major news, so maybe that's not the best comparison. But even last week at this point of time, when the volume had also dropped down, the volume was higher, was at $3.6 billion, which is almost $1 billion higher, which still, to me, the main thing that shows is a lack of strength. All right, and that strength we do need, because as you can see right now, if we take a look at the current situation for XRP, where we are in the middle of the major range that we've been ranging in for the last 4 or 5 months. All right, so that's between 2.8 and $2, 2.05 maybe. That's the broader range, and right now we're stuck in the middle, and that's logical because there's a lot of liquidity there. So the price it's very difficult to break out of that. But we're stuck in that middle. We're going to break out of that. And XRP being weak compared to XRP a couple of weeks ago and just last week is one of the key reasons why I am leaning towards expecting the bearish breakdown, right? And then a subsequent fall into 2.3 and probably also into that area between 2.25, 2.2, maybe 2.15, but I do not expect that for now. So this is, in general, what I think is most likely. It's one of the two scenarios, because the other scenario would be that we get a break above 2.5 and the upper POC area right here, you can see a lot of volume has been transacted there as well, and that we move up to the top of the range. Like, these are the two scenarios, right? It's very simple in the core that this is what happens, right? We either get the bullish breakout or we get the bearish breakout, and that is what you think, and that is what you need to know. The difficult part is then analyzing and then finding out which one of those two breakouts is more likely. Now, for multiple reasons, let me quickly get rid of this CME gap. For multiple reasons, I mean, you can see right here, XRP BTC has also been relatively weak, has been dropping down, at least, drop back down under key resistance, so that's not a great sign for XRP. The volume is not a great sign. And then outside of that, for Bitcoin specifically, which XRP is very correlated to, I also think we had a pretty substantial bearish breakdown, which, unless, look, the one reason why XRP could still break out is if Bitcoin rallies into 90,000, right? And even if that happens, I wouldn't be sure that XRP follows because of the weak XRP BTC chart. But that's the way we can still break out, all right? So for me, one of the reasons why I expect a bearish breakdown is because I think Bitcoin is more likely to pull back first before going up again. All right, so therefore, that's another reason for me to expect this outside of the relative weakness from XRP. And a little bit the lack of a fundamental catalyst, which we do not really have for now. So yeah, so this breakout I expect, but I think short term we will actually still remain stable in this range. So I'll keep you updated on this, of course, in my middle of the day market updates and my XRP videos. So I'll see you all in those. But that is what I think you need to know for now. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.